Oh, yeah. Is it Monday already? This might be the most important prediction stream we have ever done in channel history, as Andor episodes 7, 8, and 9 are tomorrow. The Gorman massacre. The wait is almost over. K2-SO could be returning in tomorrow's episodes, and finally, after months and months of waiting, the force choke scene of Dedra will be revealed. Will it actually be Darth Vader force choking her, or will it be something completely different that was introduced in episode 5? We got a lot to get into. Who's going to die? Is Bix going to die? Is Cyril going to die? Is anybody going to die? We got a lot to get into and not a lot of time. So without further ado, let's dive into all of it. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing on this fine Monday afternoon? Yeah, that's right. We got Andor, 3 new episodes tomorrow, 7, 8, and 9. We are already in the back half of this season, which is absolutely insane. But we got probably the most important arc in the entire Andor series. Some critics are saying that this is it. This arc right here, 7, 8, and 9, is the best that Andor has ever been. Some of the best that Star Wars has ever been. This is like Christmas Eve, chat. This is Christmas Eve for those of you who celebrate Christmas. It feels that good right now because something great is happening tomorrow. The Gorman massacre, Coruscant, Bail Organa, possibly seeing some other people, and some huge reveals and massive deaths. Yes, that's right. We're already predicting deaths 2 seconds into the live stream. But before we do any of that, let's say hi to everybody in the chat. And I know Tales of the Underworld was released yesterday, so we're going to talk about that a little bit today. Probably not too much. I mean, Andor Season 2 is going to take the whole conversation away. But right now, while it's on the top of our minds, tell me in the chat, rate Tales of the Underworld out of 10 in the chat. What did you think of Tales of the Underworld if you watched it yesterday? Asajj Ventress, Cad Bane, all that greatness. Tell me in the chat. And while we do that, let's say hi to everybody, shall we? Steve, what is up? Brandon Baker in the house. Rob, how we doing? B-Man, what is up? Robert, how we doing? Ryan, how we doing? Holly in the house. Ron, what is up? Nathan, how we doing? Dead Mike, what is up? Chris, how we doing? Dom in the building. All right, Starship 66, what's up? Other Ryan, how we doing? Adam, what is up? All right, if I missed you, you know the deal. Kit Fisto, what is up? Okay, if I missed you, you know the deal. Just yell at me in the chat. Let's give everybody a nice little...
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
So yeah, yesterday was Tales of the Underworld. Yesterday was Star Wars Day. It was May the 4th be with you, and it was fantastic. We had a watch party. We posted 2 breakdown videos. We went on other people's live streams like Ron, where they were live at a bar. It was a lot. It was a great Star Wars Day, and I hope you guys had a great one too. But today is Revenge of the 5th. And now we are going into our darkness today, as we're going to be predicting some pretty dark things in this upcoming 3-episode arc of Andor Season 2. Because not only will not millions, thousands of innocent Gormans die tomorrow, but a few main characters might go as well. So we got a lot to predict in terms of Andor Season 2. But before, I did ask you guys what you thought of Tales of the Underworld. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about Tales of the Underworld really, really quickly, okay? Really, really quickly. Tales of the Underworld to me was a freaking masterpiece, okay? It's up there with Tales of the Jedi. I go back and forth. I'm going to have to rewatch Tales of the Jedi, but it's like some of the stuff is better than Tales of the Jedi, and some stuff in Tales of the Jedi is better than some stuff in Underworld. They're very, very close. Jedi and Underworld are very, very close. Empire, although it's good, it's not like it's below both of them. However, Cad Bane is my favorite bounty hunter, so I understand that not many people have the same views as I do when it comes to those 3 episodes of Cad Bane. An origin story for Cad Bane is not what I expected, and it was a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. So tell me in the chat if you have not already. Rank those 6 episodes out of 10. I see some right here. 7 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 12 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 9.25 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 3 out of 10, okay, 9.5, 9, 8, 10, 10, 9. So some pretty high scores. A couple like really low scores, but for the majority, very, very high scores. And honestly, 10, 10, 10, 10, 9.5, 7. Yeah. It was at least a 9 for me. Probably even higher if I really start to think about it. But in terms of Tales being a thing for the future, it's here to stay. Tales of the Empire was a little shaky. It wasn't received well by the fans. I thought it was great, but you kind of have to really be wanting more Morgan Elsbeth and Barazafi. But even still, going back to main characters like Asajj Ventress, Cad Bane, the opportunity to do Tales of the Bounty Hunter, Tales of the Sith, Tales of anything, Tales of the Droid, like whatever you want to do. The opportunity to do that is definitely still on the table because Tales of the Underworld is a masterpiece, and hopefully fans go and watch it so that it's shown to be a success through the numbers, and they'll continue to make more of those Tales shows because the 15-minute episodes, the sort of straight to the point type stuff, it's fantastic, and I want more. I know I shouldn't, but I want more. Yeah, exactly. But tell me what you think in the chat about Tales of the Underworld, and we'll sort of wrap that up really, really quickly. Actually, we'll put up a poll right off the bat so we can see where everybody's at with Tales of the Underworld. Let's see if you guys liked it. What did you think of Tales of the Underworld? Did you love it? Did you like it? Were you like, meh, I mean, it's all right? Or did you hate it? And then we'll kind of move on and talk about Andor Season 2 for the rest of the stream because tomorrow's going to be a big day. I wish it was longer. I mean, yeah, both arcs for Cad Bane and Asajj Ventress both left on cliffhangers, wanting more and alluding to more story being told. In terms of Cad Bane, it's clear that there's going to be some sort of Cad Bane versus his child at some point later on in the timeline because that kid, Isaac, is going to want revenge. Because from his point of view, this blue guy just came into town and killed his dad. He's not going to be too happy about that. Even if it is his real dad, he's not going to be too happy about that. And then with Asajj Ventress, we got introduced to this new character of Lyco. And at the end of the series, he doesn't go off with the hidden path. He stays with Asajj Ventress. So Asajj Ventress having a apprentice of some sort is very interesting. Like, where are they going to go with that? Also, you have to bring into account, like, she's not really going to be involved in the hidden path because she made that deal with the Nightsisters. To come back to life, she had to get rid of her heart's desire for Quinlan Vos. So I don't really know what that means. Can she, like, not go be in love with Quinlan Vos? Or I don't know. But at some point later down the line, we're going to be getting more Asajj Ventress. It's just a matter of when and will she be coming to live action? You know? It was amazing we needed a season 2. I don't know if they're going to be doing season 2s. I mean, tell me what you guys think in the chat, but from the looks of it, Tales of the Jedi could easily get a season 2. There are so many Jedi that you could focus on. Baylan Skoll and Jod are the two more recent ones that people want to see backstories for. I mean, you could fill in any gap for any character, really. You could go like Plo Koon or Kit Fisto or anybody. Just random Jedi all over the place. So they could do a season 2 for Jedi. They could do a season 2 for Empire. There's plenty of Imperial officers out there that could get more story, or even like Grand Admiral Thrawn, or even Palpatine, or whatever. Inquisitors, Vader, who knows? And for Underworld, there's all the bounty hunters you could ask for, Boba Fett, Bosk, whatever you want to do. So there's always opportunities for season 2, but they don't seem to be making season 2. They've had opportunities to, and they just keep making new Tales of the Blanks. So if I were to guess, I would assume that the next whatever Tales is going to be, it won't be a season 2. It will likely just be another Tales. And of course, tell me in the chat what you want that Tales to be. Tales of the Sith, Tales of the Bounty Hunter, Tales of the... I don't even know. It could be anything. Literally anything. Nobody was predicting Tales of the Empire when that happened. Nobody was predicting Tales of the Underworld when that happened. So it's really just, it could be anything. Anything that Dave Filoni wants to tell a story about, he could do it. And we'll all just eat it up. Tales of the Sith would be great. Yeah, it would. I feel like Sith is always the go-to. Fans love a good bad guy story, and especially with characters like Vader or even Palpatine and Plagueis. You got plenty of Sith to tell some stories about, for sure. I want a Tales of the Cantina Band. Not too sure if that would get many views, Nathan. Not going to lie. Not going to lie. Obi-Wan Kenobi was a great surprise, even though he's only in it for 2 minutes. Yeah, I mean, so the Dark Disciple novel I just finished on Friday night. It wasn't my first read-through, but it was sort of my reminder, my refresher, as I tend to forget a lot of things. There's a lot of Star Wars content out there. But we know that Obi-Wan goes to Dathomir with Quinlan, to bury Asajj. That's how the book ends. And that was right where it ended, right? It picked up right where it left off, and it was just awesome. I mean, the fact that Obi-Wan and Quinlan and everybody else, I guess, doesn't even know that Asajj Ventress is still alive, that's pretty interesting. Now, the Inquisitor, when they go head-to-head, kind of knows who she is, though. I don't know. I don't know. It'll be interesting. Mike, how are you awake? You see my eyes open, and then I'm, just here. Got to be Tales of the Sith for sure. I mean, we thought it would be Tales of the Sith after Tales of the Jedi, and it wasn't. No, it was not. No. So I don't know if they're holding out on Tales of the Sith for a reason or what, but I feel like if it's going to be Tales of the Sith, what people aren't going to be happy about is it's going to be Palpatine, and it's going to be explaining how Palpatine returned. And I think that that's something that people aren't ready for yet, is a continuation of that storyline. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. To be honest, they should combine all the Tales story into one show. It would be better for me to watch. And wait, each season is another theme/character group. Wait, what? That's what it is. That's what the show is. It's Tales of the Jedi, and then it's Tales of the Empire, and it's Tales of the Underworld. They're all Tales series, but they all follow different themes/groups. But I will say, what's really cool about Tales of the I guess just the Tales series in general, is that it's able to fill the gaps of certain characters, but now it's also able to set up future events. I think the reason we got to see Asajj Ventress in this Tales of the Underworld was to set up what's going to happen in either Ahsoka Season 2 or the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. And that is the explanation of how Grand Admiral Thrawn has an army of Nightsisters. How he's able to take all those dead Nightsisters, try saying that 10 times fast, dead Nightsisters that he brought back from Peridia. Take all those dead Nightsisters and bring them back to life. This Tales of the Underworld just explains how that is done. Because if it wasn't for this show, they would all be back to life and we'd be like, what is going on? You can just bring back Nightsisters from the dead? Like, how does that even make sense? How does that work? But now we know. Because Tales of the Underworld yesterday just showed us. Asajj Ventress dies. She gets put into that pool, which clearly has some abilities. We've seen pools with abilities in Star Wars before. But this pool, Mother Talzin comes to her and says, you have an option here. You can come with the rest of your sisters and just die, or you can stay in the land of the living. But you have to lose your heart's desire. Still a little shaky on what that means, but it does explain how the Nightsisters are able to live forever. It's really, really cool because Nightsisters are so much like Jedi. They wield the Force. They use all these different magical abilities, but we know so little about them. There's a lot of explanation that still has to go down about the Nightsisters themselves and how their powers work and all that stuff, because the ability to bring someone back from the dead, pretty impressive if I do say so myself. Yeah. Ventress's story has got to continue somehow now that she has an apprentice. Yeah, I mean, we're going to get more of that. We're going to get more of those two stories. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I assume that Talzin brought her back. The pool didn't have anything to do with it. Well, if she wasn't put in the pool, then they wouldn't be able to do it. That's the thing. Dathomir itself, and we've seen this a couple times in Star Wars, the planet itself has abilities. Some planets are more strong with the Force than others. You look at planets like Ilum with the Kyber crystals, or Dagobah with the cave where Luke enters, and it's very strong within the Force. Certain planets just have more connection, I guess, to the Force. And Dathomir is one of them. It has more connection, I guess, to the dark side of the Force, but it has abilities that some consider to be unnatural. And that's what we were sort of seeing there. Yeah. Oh, gambling is still on? I didn't even notice. Yeah, let's turn off gambling. Who kept... Droopy, why you keep doing this to me, buddy? Turn off the gambling. God. Droopy's this close to getting fired. This close. Okay. It was from the tears of Quinlan that made the magic happen. when he puts Ventress into the water, it evokes the spell, and but she can't love him again. That is true. I didn't really think about that. Really, that's a great point. When the teardrop falls from Quinlan's eye to Asajj's hand, that's sort of an important piece. They zoom in on that and they're like, "This is important. Check this out." And then when she goes into the water, maybe that's a part of it. So yeah, a lot has to go into this. Like, it's not just put somebody in that pool and she gets brought back to life. It's more to that. Erica, what's up? So there's more to that, you know? Dagobah? Oh yeah, Dagobah was very, very strong in the Force. That's why Yoda went to hide there. Because the Force itself so almost masked his existence to the Emperor. That's why he went to hide on Dagobah. Indeed. Rob, you'll get your chance. Don't you worry. I watched your episode 1 through 3 of Underworld video, Mike. The stance of the youngling does look like Aayla Secura, very Aayla Secura-like. Yeah, that's true. Aayla Secura, and I believe Depa Balapa, maybe? Well, another Jedi too. Yeah, the whole the stance above his head like that. Yeah, very Aayla Secura-esque. Indeed. Yeah, so pretty much what's going on here is the Asajj Ventress stuff was really to set up what's going to go down with the Nightsisters in the Mandoverse. It also was to set up Asajj Ventress to still be alive and have more story with Asajj. She might show up in the Maul series that comes out next year, and who knows? Who knows where else? Maybe in live action in the Mandoverse. Maybe in Ahsoka Season 2, for all we know. But they're setting up more for Asajj Ventress. On the Cad Bane side, Cad Bane is dead during the events of the Book of Boba Fett. But giving him a child also gives us the opportunity to get even more stories with Cad, this whole revenge cycle for his son, all that stuff. And that could also, in turn, be in the Maul series. Maybe not, but at least later down the line. Or, hey, maybe Cad Bane's son just takes up the revenge on Boba Fett in live action. Book of Boba Fett Season 2, Boba Fett versus a younger Cad Bane, because it's Cad Bane's son. Cad Bane 3.0, chat. I literally that just popped into my head, and I like that idea quite a bit. Imagine Isaac, because when Boba Fett and Cad Bane fight on Tatooine, it's like old man versus old man. So if Cad Bane's son was around, he wouldn't really be an old man. He'd actually probably be in his prime right about now, and he could probably take down Boba quite easily. Yeah. So you had Dad Bane, you got Cad Bane, and now you got Cad Bane 3.0. Yeah. What do you think? Will Luthen die in the third arc tomorrow? Will he get captured instead? Or will Clea simply kill him? Okay, all right, let's switch gears over to Andor. This is the perfect segue. So, I Hadja with a very generous $2 holla. I appreciate that. What's up, I Hadja? Well, that's a perfect segue to switch over to Andor Season 2. So let's talk about Andor Season 2 as we are getting probably the 3 greatest episodes of the entire series tomorrow, okay? Cad Bane is dead? I thought he was still alive, or at least it was teased that he was. Well, fans seem to think he was, because when it zooms away from him, the light on his chest is still blinking. Like, it's a whole thing. Fans have been theorizing that he's still alive for the last 3 years since the Book of Boba Fett ended. But, I mean, that's only... Oh, it was muted. Damn it. It was muted because we had a watch party yesterday. I'm sorry, I heard it on my end, and it was fantastic. But I unmuted it, so... but I appreciate it. So let's talk about Andor Season 2. And by the way, 61% of you loved Tales of the Underworld, 27% of you liked it, 7% said meh, and 3% hated it. So that's pretty damn good numbers right there. But let's talk about not Tales. Let's talk about Andor Season 2. So of course, as always, throw in your craziest predictions into the chat. But we got to talk about what's coming this week. So there's 2 major things that are going down. 1, the Gorman massacre, and 2, something big is happening on Coruscant. The major conversation has been Gorman. Yeah, that's been the conversation. So, but there's something big going on Coruscant. And the reason we know that is because Bail Organa. Last week, the big crazy reveal was that Bail Organa has been recast. And some fans really don't like that. They really, really, really don't. Now, honestly, it's kind of growing on me, just a little bit. Is there a full version of that song? Yeah, but you don't get to hear it. Uh, it's got a crazy verse. No, but Bail Organa being introduced in episode 6 was a tease. As Tony Gilroy told us, it was sort of just a introduction to the character. Actually, I'll tell you exactly what he said because I have it pulled up right here. So this is what he had to say. And this is, by the way, sort of a sneak peek of what Bail might look like in tomorrow's episodes. So he said, I put him in episode 6 in an arbitrary way so that people would get the conversation out of the way until next week when he really starts to work. It's one of those situations where I want to do something simple. Just introduce him. We don't do many things that are unnecessary in this series, but it's like, let's get him in there now so that people can discuss it for a week and get it out of their system. And then he can come back back to really work. We'll talk about what that really work means. I didn't get the guy's work. I didn't want the guy's work, to be confused with his introduction. We didn't want people to be going, oh my God, Bail Organa's been recast while he's talking. Because what Bail Organa is going to do and what Bail Organa is going to say in these next couple episodes are going to be very, very, very important. Bail Organa, in a way, is almost like the glue that keeps the rebellion together. Because the rebels are all over the place. They're spread across the galaxy in different rebel cells. You have like the Ghost crew in 4 seasons of Star Wars Rebels, and then you have Andor season 1 and season 2. They're 2 completely different sides of the rebellion, but they're both considered rebels. So there's all these different cells, and those are only just 2 examples because there's way more. You got Saw Gerrera, you got, we learned in season 1, you had Anto Krieger, all those different cells, rebel cells. So Bail Organa himself is sort of the glue that brings all these different cells together, at least the Ghost crew in this Andor story, because he's the connection between them. He's the one who calls the Ghost to come save Mon Mothma from Coruscant. So Bail Organa's role in this upcoming episode is going to be a very, very, very important one. And that's why he's been recast. Now tell me in the chat, what do you think of the recast? Is it the end of the world? Is it, oh my God, this is the worst. I'm never watching this show again. Or can we get past it? Bail Organa, that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. It's the end of the universe. Okay, fine, sure. I don't hate it. It's still bad though. Yeah, I mean, it's tough to get past. You know, Jimmy Smith has such a distinct look of his face, I guess. You know, it's very difficult to almost get past. It needed to be done. Yeah, I mean, it did need to be done, and there was issues that weren't under their control. Jimmy Smith having scheduling conflicts. Clearly, Bail Organa had to be recast because it's so important to the story. And that's what kind of gets me excited, you know? That's what gets me excited about it. Although he looks completely different, I'm excited because I think it's going to be perfectly fine. We're all gonna be okay, you know? We're all gonna be okay. I think. I mean, who knows? Maybe it'll be the end of the world. I don't know. But his role is going to be very important. So as important as the Gorman Massacre is going to be, and we're going to talk about the Gorman Massacre quite a bit today, because it is not the Tarkin Massacre. No, it is the Gorman Massacre. Who's at fault for it? Is it really going to be Dedra and Cyril's fault, or is Luthen the real cause of it? We're going to talk about all that stuff. But there's also the stuff on Coruscant that'll be just as important, because Bail Organa is going to play a huge role. And of course, we know that Mon Mothma is going to be calling out Palpatine for the events of Gorman and having to get out of town. Well, let's talk about that. So, Fulcrum, true. Yeah, so as we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks, Fulcrum could be either mentioned or probably not seen, but at least mentioned in the Ghost crew as well. Fulcrum, if you don't know, is Ahsoka Tano's alias, I guess, during Star Wars Rebels for the Rebellion. And just even getting a mention of Fulcrum would be so cool. Because for the people who watch Rebels would be like, oh my God. And for the people who don't, they'd be like, okay, cool, sure, whatever, you know? Yeah. But having said that, Bail Organa, very, very important. But let's talk about this. So when we watch this trailer, and we've sort of broken it down a million times, so I'm not going to watch the whole thing, but I want to get to the important pieces here. I want to get to the important stuff, and actually the important stuff is right here. This is Cassian on Coruscant in the Senate building. This is the hallway that we saw Mon Mothma in last week, which was establishing the fact that we'll see it again this week. So he's walking down the hallway, probably going to save Mon Mothma on Coruscant. We see Mon Mothma wearing the same jacket in a different trailer, but keep that in mind because this is happening this week. Fearless, what's up? How we doing? How we doing, Fearless? So keep that in mind because this is happening this week. Okay.
Came with you to be
Oh, that's very quiet.
Something.
Gorman massacre, chat. This is what's happening this week. So from what used to just be a couple people protesting a year ago, now a year later, because there's a year time jump in between episode 6 and episode 7, the year time jump leads to thousands or at least hundreds of people protesting in the center of Gorman. Now that Imperial building that was being built off to the side here on the left is completely done, completely finished, and ready to go. Now stormtroopers are keeping the protesters at bay until something crazy happens, but we'll get to that in a second.
The Empire cannot win.
True story. So this Saw stuff is going to be in the last arc. This is him on Jeddah, and that's where we see him in Rogue One. Saw Gerrera is going to play a very big role in tomorrow's episodes. It might actually be where he gets his legs blown off on Gorman, which would be pretty damn cool. But we'll talk about Saw Gerrera in a little bit.
It's a different kind of mission. If it goes up in flames,
It will burn very brightly.
But if I'm giving up everything, I want to win.
So if I'm giving up everything, I want to win. Not only is this in this trailer, but Star Wars themselves just reposted this. Let me, right here, yeah. They just reposted this in hype for tomorrow's episodes. If Bix, as Bix says, we have to win. If I'm going to give up everything, we have to win. And let's not forget the conversation that her and Luthen had. I thought I saved that, no? Hang on, chat. What? I could have sworn they posted it and I saved it. 1 second, chat. Oh, maybe it was on Instagram? Maybe. Could have sworn I saved that, chat. Okay, I guess not. I'm never going to find it. But the scene where Bix is at home alone and Luthen comes on over. And the conversation that they have is pretty much Bix saying, is it all going to be worth it? And Luthen pretty much says, yes, but we might not be there to see it. We're going to have to give everything, and maybe even our lives, to make this work. Oh, here it is. I found it. This is what she said. She says, never ends, does it? All the hiding. And this is what Luthen has to say. It will. We'll bring them down or die trying. Alluding to the fact that both of these characters will die. I think Bix is actually going to die this week, but tell me in the chat if you agree. I think Bix will die this week and Luthen probably the following week, but both of these characters are on a similar trajectory. They are not in Rogue One, but they are so important to Cassian's story and Cassian's role in the rebellion currently in Andor Season 2. Thomas, what's up? So it seems to me that this conversation right here is really just foreshadowing the outcome of this season. How both of these characters will give everything. They will die trying to stop the Empire. So keep that in mind. Yes, this one.
We have to. We must stand together. We will be crushed.
Resistance is
Now, this scene between Krennic and Dedra, I think will be in the final arc. Maybe this arc, but most likely the final arc, because this seems to be the aftermath of the Gorman massacre. I think this is Dedra maybe was the one who was in charge of Gorman and this whole massacre happens, and maybe it was on purpose, maybe it wasn't. We don't know. That's going to be quickly found out in these 7, 8, 9. But this is very important. Krennic interrogating Dedra in the same room where she interrogated Cyril in season 1. It's not only poetic, but it's going to be very, very important. Is he mad at her? Is he going to kill her? What's going to go down here? That's pretty good. Mike's the Grim Reaper of Star Wars. What? No.
Incorrect.
No. Oh. Oh, Hodges super chat just came in again, I think. Okay. Appreciate it. Oh, wait, we got another super chat? Hang on, chat. Is there a super chat in the chat? Oh, there it is. Darth Plagueis lives with a very generous $5 holla. Holy crap. I appreciate that quite a bit. Says, why is my chat going so slow? Hang on, I'll refresh this. There it is. Says, I think Cyril will die during the massacre. Wow. But what about the final 3? Or what will the final 3 episodes be about? We'll talk about that. But also, what did you think of Tales of the Underworld? I loved Tales of the Underworld, as I talked about at the beginning of the stream. But do I think Cyril will die in the massacre? Cyril and Dedra, to me, are very interesting. Because when I look at Bix and I look at Luthen, I think both those characters have to die. They're so important to Cassian's story, and they must die. Cyril and Dedra, on the other hand, have a very different trajectory. It seems as though Dedra might have to die. I'm not too sure. Tell me in the chat. Do you guys think that Cyril and Dedra will die? And if so, how? What do we think? Your pal Joe, what is up? How we doing? What do we think? And actually, while you do that, I'm going to put up a poll in the chat. Actually, let's make it Cyril. Do you think, I was going to put Bix, but we already did that poll. Do you think Cyril will die tomorrow? In tomorrow's episodes, do you think that Cyril will die? Yes or no? Yes or no? I think it's quite possible that Cyril dies during the massacre, leading to Dedra's panic attack in the safe room on Gorman. Okay, that's actually the perfect segue because that's pretty much what comes up right here next.
Resistance is absurd.
It's a weapon. They're building a weapon. The monster will come for us all.
Okay, so I skipped a couple things. The weapon that Clea is talking about and the monster that will come for us all. We'll talk about those in a second. But because you guys brought it up, let's talk about this. The Force choke that people have been talking about for months now. What's going on here? Now that this is going to happen tomorrow. So what is happening? We have a lot more intel about where this happens. This is on Gorman. We saw that room in episode 5, I think it was, where Cyril went in there to talk to Dedra over the hologram message or whatever it was. What do we think is going on here? Do we still think it's Darth Vader Force choking him? There's some sort of device on her collar? I don't think so. Some sort of choking device? No. Rhydonium. Okay. I like this theory quite a bit. So the theory is that she can't breathe or she's choking on the air because of rhydonium being pumped into the room. Now, the rhydonium was established very early on in episode 4 and 5 of last week. And it was connected to Saw Gerrera, which could allude to Saw Gerrera being at the Gorman massacre, which we talked about a little bit. But is it possible, or I guess do you think, that the reason that she's holding her neck, the reason that she's being force choked, if you will, is because rhydonium is being pumped into the room that she is currently in right now? And then the question becomes, well, why is she in this room? This is some sort of safe room, as it was described to us in episode 5. So is she maybe going in there to be safe? Is she running away from something? There's a lot of questions when it comes to this one little frame, because it's a very quick scene. It goes away right away. Ready? It's like a blink, you miss it type deal. And she's really, really freaking out here. This is not a look we've ever seen on Dedra's face. This is not something that we usually see when it comes to this character. She is horrified. Something bad is happening. So it could be the rhydonium for sure. Some people still think it could be Vader force choking him, which would take this it would take this show to a whole nother level. If Vader is on Gorman, it would be insane. I don't think it's going to happen. I've really thrown that Vader force choke thing out the window. At first, I thought it could be possible, and now it seems very unlikely, especially because this is on Gorman. But there are some other options. A panic attack is one that I see quite a bit. The possibility that she is the one who ordered for all the innocent Gormans to die, and she's feeling the repercussions of that. This theory to me of the panic attack is not really my favorite. The reasoning is because she is so cold. Dedra in this second season and in the first season, but in the second season, she doesn't give a hoot. She doesn't care. Did I just say she doesn't give a hoot? Who am I, chat? No. She doesn't care. She tortures Bix. She tortures Wilmon's dad, Pac. She tortures a bunch of people. She doesn't care. So killing all these innocent Gormans, I don't think she'll care. If I'm being completely honest. I don't think she'll care at all. She swallowed a spider? Well, that would be unfortunate. Master Beckham, what's up? So honestly, the panic attack answer to me just seems a little far-fetched because she doesn't care that much. You know? She's choking on her own aspirations. Well, she was warned. Don't choke on your own aspirations. Yeah, that's true. The way you said "don't give a hoot" made me think that you've been watching Norm Macdonald. Honestly, I have watched Norm Macdonald before, but no, I have not recently. So I don't know. I don't know what made me say that, Chad. I think I'm losing my mind. You know. Mike, what's up? How we doing? She might take a pill. Wait, what? Oh, she did take a pill in season 1, though, didn't she? Actually, I forgot about that. She does. Isn't she taking something to sort of ease her mind, maybe? Interesting. Maybe all this comes undone. That'd be pretty wild. But Tony Gilroy said there would be no Vader or Palpatine. While that is true, we've seen creatives and writers and actors lie all the time. And the reason for those lies is not because they're horrible people and we should never trust them. It's because they can't tell us. Because if the reality was that Palpatine or Vader showed up in Andor and he said, yeah, of course he's in that, that ruins the surprise. So I agree with you that I'm leaning more towards Palpatine and Vader are not going to show up. However, Palpatine is probably far more likely than Vader at this point. But just because Tony Gilroy said that they won't be in it doesn't mean they won't be in it. I'm pretty sure Tony Gilroy has even said before that there's going to be no legacy characters in season 2, and then he changed it to maybe there's some, or he changed it to it's hard to bring in legacy characters, and he changed it to all this other stuff. And now Bail Organa's already in the show. And I think there'll be even more legacy characters. I think Leia is a high possibility at this point. Where there's Bail Organa, there's probably Leia Organa. But with that being said, what do we think's going on here? Force choke? No force choke? You tell me in the chat. And if it's not force choke, then what is it? Vader does not have to be there to force choke her. That's interesting. Could be over the monitor. That is interesting. This is a room with a monitor in it. So if she is FaceTiming with Lord Vader, that'll be pretty interesting. FaceTime call with Lord Vader. Yeah, Admiral Raddus will be in this season 2. So we know that other familiar faces are coming. We just don't know what they are. I keep telling you, Dedra will be poisoned, but nobody listens. They never listen. Poisoned is pretty interesting. Who would poison her? And why would, that doesn't really... The whole Rhydonium stuff, I guess that's considered a poison to some extent. Maybe. We know that Wilmon is there. That's the biggest thing. Wilmon is on Gorman. So if he's there, that means Saw and his guys are probably there too. And that's why the Rhydonium being pumped into this room is probably the best theory right about now. Right about now. Well, let's rewind a second because we got 2 big things to talk about here too.
Be crushed.
Resistance is absurd.
Actually 3, I guess. K2-SO. So this is the week where I think we're getting K2 finally reintroduced to the Star Wars timeline. We will finally get one of the best droids in Star Wars, a fan favorite from Rogue One, reintroduced. Now, the problem is, he's going to be introduced as a villain. He's an Imperial droid. But how he goes from Imperial droid to Rebel is what we've been waiting for. And honestly, it's the secret that they've been keeping the most because we know nothing about it. All these trailers don't give us any sort of hints as to how K2 becomes a hero, becomes a rebel. We don't know how Cassian reprograms him. And we definitely don't know why he's so loyal, I guess, to Cassian. In Rogue One, he only listens to Cassian. He doesn't listen to the rebels, just Cassian. So their relationship is very important. And however it's going to be explained in this second season, which is likely to be tomorrow, is going to be very, very interesting and important. But K2 is back. Now, the rumor is episode 8, so right in the middle of this arc, episode 7, 8, 9. So right in episode 8 is when we're going to get introduced to K2. But I really have no idea how they're going to do it. I haven't the first clue, but it'll be pretty interesting to see. I like the theory of Cyril can reprogram him because we see that one quick frame where Cyril is sitting in a room full of those KX units, and maybe he reprograms one of them. Having Cyril turn to the rebels would be pretty damn interesting. He's going to see the Gorman massacre go down. He's going to see all these people die. And it's not that Cyril's like a pure, just evil person. That was made clear in episode 1, 2, and 3 when they had the whole dinner party with Cyril's mom. That was almost there to explain to us that Cyril had a loving childhood with a loving mother. Dedra did not. So Dedra, as cold as she is, as badass and whatever as she is, Cyril is not. So it's possible that Cyril maybe learns that he's being used by Dedra and maybe even sees the Gorman massacre happen, and he has a change of heart. He reprograms a K2 unit or KX unit, and that turns into K2-SO. That would be quite the story. From the guy who's been chasing down Cassian forever to creating his best friend. That would be some pretty good writing. I think Cyril finds out the plan and turns against Dedra, and that's why she's freaking out. Because she knows she's in trouble? Interesting. So maybe the reason that she's holding her neck is because she knows that she's done messed up. She knows that it's all over. Because Cyril has turned against her, she doesn't have him anymore, and now she's failed. You failed, Your Highness. She has failed. And now she has to report back to Krennic that she has failed, and that's going to become a big old problem. Thanks for the Underworld breakdown, Mike. No, thank you, Joe, for watching the Tales of the Underworld breakdown. Thank you all for watching it. They're doing quite well. I still feel like it's a panic attack because they're going to kill, because he gets killed in the massacre and she's freaking out because of that. I could see that too. Like she thinks it's her fault that Cyril dies, so she's really upset about it. I could see that for sure. I could see it. But we do have some other things to talk about here, so let's keep going.
Absurd.
It's a weapon. They're building a weapon.
It's a weapon. They're building a weapon. This is Leia. The same Leia that we've seen all dressed up and nice for the first 6 episodes. She doesn't look like that. She's been going through some stuff, clearly. And she's found out about the weapon. I don't know how she finds out about the Death Star. How much does she really know? I don't know. I have no idea. But she knows about it, and that's enough. That's enough to drive the story a lot further here, because how much does she know? Who else knows? Who does she tell? Does Luthen know? And how does he react to that? Like, this is very, very important. How they use the Death Star in these next 6 episodes is going to be very, very interesting, because we're going to probably get to see it this week, and I think the following week, the final week, it's going to be alluded to quite a bit.
They're building.
And of course, we get to see Krennic looking out right at the Death Star. It would be crazy if they cropped this weird and Vader was standing right next to him. Or Darth Plagueis Lives, the very generous $2 holla. I appreciate that. You didn't say anything. You didn't say anything! God! You just wanted to hear the scream, did you? You just wanted to hear the scream. You just wanted to make me jump in my boots because you wanted to hear the Wilhelm scream. Yeah. Where was I? It would be crazy if it was just cropped like Vader was in this scene or even Dedra was in this scene next to him and they just cropped her out. That'd be pretty wild. Some trailer magic, if you will. But the Death Star will play a big, big role. And yes, get some more Death Star lore for sure. Indeed.
A weapon. The monster will come for us all.
The monster will come for us all. This is it, chat. Finally, we will see the outcome of Mon Mothma's outburst. When she calls out Palpatine for being a monster and how it will come for us all, we're going to get to see his reaction to that. Because how can you really react to that? You're in the Senate building. It's not like you can arrest her right then and there. She didn't do anything wrong. She's seeing what happened on Gorman, thousands of innocent lives being just killed, and she's seeing that and talking about it in the Senate building. You can't do anything about that. That is the law. You can't just go and kill her there. However, you can send stormtroopers after her after the fact. You know what I'm saying? Max says, how close will the end of Andor be to the start of Rogue One? Well, from what we hear, the last episode of Andor Season 2 is supposed to lead directly into Rogue One. So I think the last episode will show Cassian in his ship on his way to that outpost where he meets the guy with the hurt arm in the alleyway. So I think it will lead literally directly into it. Yeah. Hang on, let me get to the super chat really quickly. Ron with the very generous $5 holla. I appreciate that. Says, who is Leia talking to in that scene? Great question. Let's go back here for a sec.
It's a weapon.
It's a weapon. Honestly, I don't know. Got some sort of like brown sleeve. So maybe it's the brown, this brown that Cassian's wearing, but it looks a little different colored. I mean, if I were to guess, I'm guessing it's Luthen. But actually, this right in front of him might be the jacket that Cassian's wearing. So it could be Cassian. So does Cassian know about this weapon? Well, he doesn't know that it's a Death Star. That's for sure. He doesn't know what the weapon is. But the knowledge of there being a weapon is not the same as knowing what the Death Star is. So maybe it is Cassian, and that'd be crazy. Because it almost looks like at this point, Luthen might be gone. Like he's out of the picture. He's out of the story. I don't know. Who do we think she's talking to? Maybe Saw? Could be Saw. I don't know though. Saw to me doesn't really seem to be having many conversations with Leia, I don't think. If Cyril survives, it would be funny if he got a job on the Death Star. Yeah, I've seen that. That'd be pretty funny. Crazy prediction. They get K2, and as Bix is dying, they figure out a way to get her consciousness to be put into K2. Now, that'd be pretty wild. But yeah, I don't know. Like the hand looks like Saw's. Really? To me, the hand looks very white. But maybe it's, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. No, he has on a black outfit. No, the shirt looks pretty brown. Looks pretty brown to me. Cassian could be Luthen. I guess it's Cassian. Maybe Saw. Maybe, I mean, that, I don't know. We shall see. There's no way Saw and Leia would be in the same place. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't really make sense, you know? Yeah, no?
They're building a weapon. The monster will...
But before I get to the monster will come for us all, even still, I think that scene with whoever she's talking to won't happen until next week. It won't happen this week. I'd be surprised. It would be crazy, though, if all these scenes, like, we haven't seen a single one from the final 3 episodes. I don't think it's true, but it would be crazy. Yeah. I think Luthen sacrifices himself to save Mon Mothma when he realizes that the rebellion is already is ready for a public face. I could see that. I don't know. They could go many different ways with Luthen's sacrifice or Luthen's death, because somebody he loves could kill him. Like he's been getting his friends pretty angry at him recently, with Cassian and Clea both yelling at him in last week's episodes, and Mon Mothma mad at them, and Vel now mad at them. So any number of those characters could turn a blaster on Luthen and kill him. But it'd be nice to see him go out as a hero, you know? He's done all this hard work. He's kind of a nice guy. It'd be nice. It'd be nice. But the monster will come for us all. What do we think about this, chat? What is the likelihood, and I'm actually going to pull this up in the chat, what do you think is the likelihood that Palpatine himself comes right up through the center of that Senate meeting and does what he does in Bad Batch Season 2? He comes in and clarifies what happened on Gorman, and he maybe even roasts Mon Mothma a little bit and does all this fun, crazy stuff. What do we think the chances are that Palpatine will be in this Senate meeting? Let's find out. Do you think Palpatine? Whoops. Palpatine. Oh my God. Palpatine will be in Andor Season 2, I guess, because he can be in any of these episodes. Will he be in Andor Season 2 for the rest of the season? Yes or no? To me, I think Vader's probably less likely. A lot less likely. Just because of what he's up to now. I mean, we got him in Rebels. But, Rose, what's up? Palpatine is far more likely. We are on Coruscant. This is his home. This is where he would be. In a Senate meeting, which is probably the most important Senate meetings in 10 years, at least. Because Gorman is the turning tides. The Death Star is almost finished. He needs there to be peace in the Senate so that eventually he can disband the Senate when he has the Death Star completed. But he needs peace. So he would be, if anywhere in the galaxy, Palpatine would be on Coruscant in this Senate meeting. Because Gorman just happened, thousands of innocent lives are killed, and they need the galaxy to be at peace. So if he is going to be anywhere, the most important place Palpatine would be at this current moment would be in that room, in that Senate building. And to me, as I've always said, this seems to be one of the last options for us to see Ian McDiarmid come back in live action to play Palpatine. After Andor Season 2, this timeline is pretty locked up. We've seen pretty much every weekend we can cover from these years before the original trilogy. So it seems to me that this might be the last chance to see Ian McDiarmid in live action as Palpatine. You put those things together, and the likelihood of seeing him in this scene, especially when he's Mon Mothma is calling him out directly, it's not impossible. Let's definitely say that. It's not impossible. Some fans seem to think that they are not going to do it. I don't think we will see him in person, but there will be a video message. If they made a video message, you might as well just bring him back. You know, just give us a little Palpatine. Just a little sprinkle of Palpatine in there. It would be so badass, even if it was like the same exact thing as what happens in the Bad Batch Season 2. You know, it'd be the same thing. Xavier says, nah, maybe she'll say straight to Sly Moore in Massa Mita. Interesting. Who may be there? Since the former was mentioned in Season 1. True. Sly Moore was mentioned in Season 1. But even seeing Massa Mita and Sly Moore in the Senate seat, I guess the Emperor's seat, in the middle of the Senate chambers would be pretty damn cool. It's no Palpatine, don't get me wrong, but it would still be pretty damn cool. Yeah. I understand that there's interviews where Tony Gilroy says that there's no Vader or Palpatine, but if there was a Vader or Palpatine appearance, you think he'd be saying yes? And as Steve puts it, it would absolutely break the internet. Like, absolutely break the internet. What would he do if he showed up? Well, what he would do is just pretty much ease the minds of the other senators. Because pretty much Mon Mothma is going to be granted the ammunition of the Gorman massacre. Because this is the perfect thing to go, look at this. The Empire is evil. Because she's been trying to say that the Empire is evil for years now in the Senate. And this is the perfect silver platter, cherry on top, the Gorman massacre. The Empire just killed thousands of innocent people on Gorman. That's big. That's enormous. So now she might be able to sway so many other senators, so many other worlds to join the cause of the rebellion, or at least question the Emperor and question the Empire. And she can do that in the Senate. So I think we're going to get Mon Mothma call out Palpatine, calling him a monster, calling out the Empire, calling them a monster. And she has a point because of what happens on Gorman. So what would Palpatine do? He would come right up in the middle of the Senate building and he'd just do what he does. Palpatine is, yes, Force lightning, lightsaber, unlimited power, great. But what he really is a strategic genius. That's what he is. He's a guy who was the leader of both the Separatist Army and the Republic during a galaxy-wide war where he pulled the strings on both sides. He's the guy who had a contingency plan to bring him back to life for when he died eventually. He is so good with his words. And if you don't know what I'm talking about when I say what happens in The Bad Batch Season 2, in The Bad Batch Season 2, the Bad Batch have found evidence that the Empire killed the innocent Kaminoan scientists and destroyed the Kaminoan facilities on Kamino. They have evidence of that. And pretty much what Palpatine does is come in a situation where there seems to be no way to spin this that the Empire are the good guys. And he does. He comes in and he gives this whole speech and everybody goes crazy and everybody's like, yeah, woo, Palpatine, we love you. Yeah, woo. And then he's like, and also arrest that guy. He arrests his own guy, Rampart, and he blames it all on him and he has this whole thing and he spins it completely on its head. And the Bad Batch go from winning the day to absolutely losing the day horribly. And I think the same thing could happen here. Mon Mothma calls him out for being a monster and all this stuff, and everybody's like, yeah, Palpatine's a monster. Yeah, screw that guy. And then he comes up and spins it. I don't know how. He's the genius, not me. He spins it. That's the only thing I could see. And it would be awesome. It would be awesome. Lex Luthor says, I don't think Cyril has an interesting enough story to die right now. I mean, they did focus on him quite a bit last week. You know? I mean, they killed off Cinta, and she wasn't having the most important story going on yet. A lot of characters have to die this season. There might be more than one death, you know? Big death, I should say. Yeah. But the monster will come for us all. Yeah, he'll rule the day. Exactly. Wait, what? Cooper, how we doing? How we doing? How we doing? The Senate starts chanting Palpatine. Palpatine. Wait, what? Xavier says, would be cool if we got a shot of Bail during his speech holding Leia back from speaking. Because she would be present there, serving as an apprentice legislature at about this time, right? Yeah, that's the thing too. Is when it comes to Bail Organa having a important role in episode 7, 8, 9, it's clear that Leia has to be involved, at least mentioned in some sort of way, at least mentioned, because she, at the very young age, and we see it in Star Wars Rebels too, is involved with the Senate, is involved with politics. So she would either be on Coruscant with Bail or her absence there would have to be explained. We got mention of his wife last episode, but Leia is involved with politics at this point. We are far enough along. We are far enough along. Yeah, English. On the timeline where Leia is involved in politics. So she could very well be in these next 3 episodes. Yeah. Donald, what's up? Says, glad to catch this live. Well, I appreciate you being here. Glad you're here. Yeah. Yeah. It would be like a nod to Rogue One too, where he says, I trust her with my life. Yeah, exactly. And he's alluding to his daughter there too. It'd be great. Here we go again. Bob says, Tony Gilroy says there will be no Palpatine in Andor Season 2. Yes, indeed he has. You know what else happened? Andrew Garfield said he wouldn't be Spider-Man in Spider-Man No Way Home. You know what else happened? Ben Mendelsohn said that he won't be returning as Krennic in Andor Season 2. And oh wait, we've already seen him twice. I'm not saying that it's not true, like maybe Palpatine is not in the season. I'm just saying because Tony Gilroy said that doesn't necessarily mean that he won't be in the season. He could lie. He could very well lie. You know? Oh, Donald with the very generous $5 holla. I appreciate that, Donald, quite a bit. Says, question. What is the next character to die? Well, next, I have no idea. It could be a random Gorman for all we know. But in terms of main characters, Cyril seems like a good bet because he could die during this massacre. But I think it's going to be Bix. Bix's involvement, or I guess lack thereof, involvement in the rest of the season is pretty evident. In all of the trailers, we don't see a single scene of Bix post episode 6. I don't think she'll die off screen, or at least in between the arcs. Like, she won't die in this year gap between episode 6 and 7. That would just be a wasted opportunity, I think. And I think her death will be very, very meaningful. It's more a question of will she die at the Gorman Massacre, or will she die like while the Gorman Massacre is going on and Cassian just doesn't know about it? You know? Yeah, no? I don't know, Chad. What do we think? Is Bix going to die tomorrow? Is Bix dying in episode 7, 8, and 9, or will she make it to the finale? The reason I don't think she'll make it to the finale, or the final 3 episodes, I guess, is because Cassian doesn't really seem too sad at the beginning of Rogue One. It's not like he just lost Bix, and we know that the last 3 episodes lead directly into Rogue One. So it would make more sense that she died at least a year before that. So we could have some time to cope, some time to grieve, you know? Yeah. But I appreciate the super chat. I really, really do. And Bix is my answer. Yeah. Bix is the answer. Michael says, do you think that Disney will make Star Wars great again? This is actually a way more difficult question to answer than I thought. My answer is it never stopped being great. And some may argue that the sequel trilogy is not their favorite thing or they absolutely hate it, if we're being honest. But even during the time of the sequel trilogy, when that was being released, you had projects like Rogue One, one of the greatest Star Wars movies ever. You had projects like Rebels. Rebels was going on from 2014 to 2018, the same time the sequel trilogy was being released. Some people really love Solo. I love Solo. So you have projects like Solo. Even The Mandalorian came out in 2019. So I don't think it ever stopped, you know? If that answers your question. Yes, Bix will die next week. Yes. Okay, seem to be on board that Bix is dying this week. I think Cassian needs time for Bix to be dead. Exactly. Loved Solo. Oh, me too. Solo is so underrated. I hope the rest of the Rebels go out in glory. Well, I think a character like Wilmon could die this week too. A sort of a side-ish character in this Andor series. He could definitely die. Yeah. Because Star Wars never dies. Yeah, Star Wars is never going to die. Let's be honest, guys. Let's be honest. Oh, Disney will never be given the credit. No. Absolutely never. People will be like, oh, I love Andor. I love The Mandalorian. And in the same sentence, they'll be like, but Disney killed Star Wars. They'll never be given the credit. Absolutely. I mean, you think about it. When a success like Andor happens, or a success like The Mandalorian happens, or even Rogue One, the credit is given to Tony Gilroy. It's given to Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, which credit should be given to those guys, but it's never Kathleen Kennedy. Because Kathleen Kennedy always gets the bad news whenever something bad happens. You know? Wilmon could die. Yeah, absolutely. The stuff with Wilmon and Saw, I think, was set up for this next 3 episodes. Because Wilmon is on Gorman. Let's actually keep this trailer going. He is on Gorman.
Come for us all!
Revolution is not for the same. You're right here.
Right there. Wilmon is on Gorman, so he'll be at the massacre. And if it's really a massacre where thousands of innocent Gormans are going to die, then some characters that we know are going to die too. Like Cyril, maybe. Like Wilmon, probably. Cassian, obviously, is going to die too. Cassian doesn't die. Hey, guys, guess what? Cassian Andor dies on the beaches of Scarif to the Death Star. Did you know that? I absolutely lost it on Saturday's stream. I apologize, chat. I lost my mind. Tends to happen when stupid shit gets brought up. it happens sometimes. Yeah. You want to hear something even crazier? Something even more wild? Anakin Skywalker is Darth Vader.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Okay.
And you're ready to fight.
There's a future here for those who dare.
This scene was brought up to me. Somebody actually DM'd me and said, Mike, this scene's definitely going to be more important than we know. Cassian is... we have no idea where he is. Could be Gorman, could be wherever. But he looks pretty horrified looking back at wherever he is. I think this could be this week, for sure. I think it could be this week. And he's Luke's dad? No. You tell me that Darth Vader is Luke's dad? Holy shit. That's crazy. These are the stormtroopers on their way to go arrest Mon Mothma or go do something with Mon Mothma. Oh, this was the scene we were just talking about earlier. Oh, wait. Do we have a new trailer? We got a new something. We got a new something for Andor Season 2. Hang on. We'll watch it in a second. I just got the alert on my phone. This is the scene that we were talking about. This is Cyril in a room full of KX units, and it's possible that he reprograms one of them, or maybe all of them, to fight for the rebellion and not for the Empire. And maybe only one survives, or something along those lines. Yeah. Yeah. So this was sort of the scene we were talking about before. And something cool might be happening here. Oh my God, that poll in the chat is quite crazy. I did not think that you guys wouldn't believe in me. You wouldn't believe in the Palpatine cause. But this could be something where Cyril is reprogramming K2-SO, which would be pretty wild. And why is Clea crying here? I have no idea. Oh, nope. Sorry, going the wrong way. I have no idea.
Welcome to the
rebellion. Okay, let's check out what just got posted here. Let's check it out. Oh, it was just this. It was just this, chat. Oh, wait, what? Oh, it was this. No volume there. I see. Just for episodes 4, 5, and 6. We do have 2 other trailers I want to get to here, so let's go take a gander. This one right away confirms what we were just talking about, and that is Wilmon being on Gorman and giving us a little bit of a behind-the-scenes look at Gorman too. This right here. So this is Gorman, and this is Wilmon and Cassian. And Cassian seems to be beat up like crazy. So that a lot of beat up people back there too.
Diego just gives you the instant gravitas. We never would have gotten involved.
Actually, chat. This hasn't happened yet. Is that Wilmon?
Instant gravitas.
You talking to right there? This hasn't happened. What is this? Where are they? What's going on here, chat? I don't know what this is. Do we know? Brown jacket? Possibly.
We never would have got involved in the show in the first place if it wasn't for him.
I came with you to be part of something. I give you everything. In the first season, we make sure Cassian seemed like a normal guy. But in season 2, he takes his place as a leader of the rebellion. The Empire cannot win.
Diego is the perfect lead. His performance is as wonderfully gritty and nuanced as the show. I am in awe of how
Here it is again. Same location, some sort of foresty planet, Wilmon. Cassian looks pissed at Wilmon, and Bix is there. What is this, chat? Could this be the beginning of these next 3 episodes? Where Wilmon maybe comes back to Cassian and is like, hey, I need help or something, or can I come back or something? I don't know. What do you think's going on here, chat? What do we think's going on here, chat? Yavin camp? Maybe. Could it be Yavin? I mean, Yavin's the only foresty planet like this we've seen. I don't know. Doesn't look like Yavin. Doesn't look like the inside of a Yavin temple, that's for sure. But this could be where they are at, like, at the beginning of this, arc. He's wearing Han Solo pants. Or very Han Solo-esque pants. Hashtag Bix lives. No. Hashtag Bix dies. Never. Kashyyyk? Oh, I seriously doubt it. That would be insane, but no. Yeah, it's probably either Yavin or something else. Just a completely new planet or something like that where Bix and Cassian are in hiding. I don't know. Either way, this could definitely happen this week, especially if we think that Bix and Wilmon are going to die this week. Can't be in the final arc. This might be where we pick up with these characters a year later in episode 7. Possibly. Isn't Wilmon a tech guy? Could he be reprogramming K2? He could be. Absolutely. I mean, that might be what they've been setting up for sure. I wouldn't mind it. Takoma told Perrin something while he was drunk. Perrin is a loose thread and will die in this arc. Oh my God, Perrin's gonna die? You guys are like, Mike, you just kill off everybody. Here comes Gary into the chat and he's like, oh yeah, guess what? Perrin's gonna die. That's true though. He does whisper something into his ear while he's drunk. Possibly. Maybe a trick to help Saul Goodman? To help Saw out? Maybe. So maybe the Gorman massacre stuff isn't even Luthen. Maybe Cassian and Bix are done with Luthen. How about that? A year has passed and Cassian's still pissed at Luthen that he doesn't even trust him anymore. And doesn't even work with him anymore. And Wilmon's coming to Cassian and Bix because Saw needs their help with Gorman. What if all of the Gorman massacre is just because of Saw Gerrera? That would be pretty wild. And Wilmon is recruiting Cassian and Bix to be a part of it. Better call Saw. Perrin could die, but he's also protected by being a very liked and powerful person. Yeah, but Perrin's also not really involved with Mon Mothma's story, and Mon Mothma's story continues all the way until Ahsoka, and she doesn't have her child, her daughter, and her husband with her, I don't think. That's pretty interesting. I never really thought of that the Gorman massacre could be Saw Gerrera's idea. Could be Saw Gerrera's whole thing. Like, it might not even involve Luthen at all. Interesting.
how he does it so subtly, charismatically, and so beautifully. This season is going to be extraordinary. Cassian's story, which is the emergence of a leader, is fulfilled.
Cassian is very personal to me, and I feel very proud of being part of his story.
So obviously Diego Luna, this is a hype video for Diego Luna because he's the GOAT. But yeah, he is the perfect Cassian. Okay, but pretty interesting. That actually gave us a lot more information than I thought it would in terms of what's going down this week. But then this is the one we watched on Saturday's live stream that gives us maybe an insight into how this 3-episode arc is going to end, or maybe even what the final arc looks like when it opens on Yavin 4. So will Yavin 4 be established as the Rebellion's base this week in episodes 7, 8, and 9? Tell me in the chat. It might be like the last thing, like the final scene is them going to Yavin 4, and Cassian's like, I know a place, and they go to Yavin 4, possibly. Or they might really just wait until the final arc to show us that they're on Yavin 4. I'm not too sure, but tell me in the chat.
I came with you to be part.
Because we're going to be getting a lot of Yavin. I mean, we don't get much of it in the trailers, other than just bits and pieces here, but let's see.
Of something. It's a different kind of mission.
Cassian on Coruscant. That's going to happen tomorrow. Cassian helping Mon Mothma escape will happen tomorrow.
It means so much to reconnect with the cast of Andor. It's this amazing story that is so important for all of us. If it goes up in flames,
It will burn.
it will burn
Very brightly.
very brightly.
So this was the same hallway that we were just talking about. So this is the hallway, as you can see in the background here. The Mon Mothma's walking down. It's full of people. That Cassian walks down in that other trailer, and it's completely empty. So it's the Senate building, what he's doing there, rescuing Mon Mothma, but why nobody else is there, I don't know.
You see so much growth and so much destruction. So the evolution of these characters is pretty intense.
The actors, they were so great. You start to realize what you can write for. Everything's in play. Everything's in motion. Nobody can escape the
So here we get a little bit of a K2-SO type, or KX unit at least, versus Cassian. Honestly, I don't know if this is K2-SO right there specifically. It could be, could not be. But they're going to fight first. Like, they're going to give us a showdown between these two, and then they become fans. And then it becomes a one happy family. But they will fight first. Yeah. Mike will break something if Bix doesn't die. No, I won't. I'll break everything. Now. She's going to... Oh, whoa. Whoa. We got a super chat. 1 sec. Toy Master, with a very generous 27 somethings, says, Dedra in Luthen's shop? Who dies? I forgot about that. Okay. What trailer is that from? Does anybody know? Can somebody find the trailer that is in and send it to me in the Discord? If you guys are not yet in the Discord, there's a link in the description below to the people who love Star Wars. Go join the Discord immediately. It's completely free, obviously. But what trailer is that in? I do remember that trailer quite a bit, where Dedra is in Luthen's gallery. Will that happen this week? Like, what is that? Forgot about that. Holy crap. I appreciate the super chat. I really, really do. Super chats, memberships keep the lights on over here, so I appreciate it. But what trailer is that? That's a great call, because I forgot about that. I completely forgot about that. Dedra is in Luthen's gallery. That's crazy. Did that happen before the massacre? I don't know. Let's keep going. Somebody find that for me really quickly and send it my way.
crushing power of the Empire.
We need to speak out. We need to stand up.
There is peril at every corner.
There is peril at every corner?
With the script of Tony's caliber, the depth and the humanity, I think it's very beautiful. There's something more here, and you...
What is this scene about? Leia, probably on the Fondor.
More here, and you feel it.
But if I'm giving up everything, I want to win.
Here's Dedra in that same room. She must be talking to Krennic or talking to somebody of significance to have her sort of have this attack or panic attack. There's a vent up there in the top. There's a vent right there, chat. Could be pumping in the Rhydonium there, chat.
It's smart, it's emotional, it's human.
We have to.
And it just happens to be in a galaxy far, far away.
We must stand together. We will be crushed.
Are you ready to hear the greatest? Are you ready to hear the greatest note you'll ever hear? Just listen, chat. Just listen. Ready?
Welcome to the rebellion.
Yeah, so that one does give us a little bit of a insight into what's going down on Gorman and Yavin 4 quite a bit as well. But can somebody find that Dedra thing? Because I forgot that even existed. So a great call right there. Yeah, for sure. What do you think about the theory that Luthen was inspired by Jean Molin, leader of the French resistance? Oh, well, there is a lot of French stuff going on because you have the Gormans and all that stuff being based off of French, and all the people based off of France, I guess, and all the people are French that are on Gorman. But I don't know. I never heard that theory actually. Pretty good. Dedra is defecting? Oh, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think she's staying bad forever. I think she's bad forever. 50 Thunder, what's up? No, you can't be late. This is unacceptable. No, I'm kidding. I am kidding.
Hello there.
There you go. Will Han Solo make an appearance? No. I really don't think so. The best way for Dedra to die is painfully through Rhydonium. Well, that's a little harsh. But sure. All right, I think I might be able to find this trailer. I think it was one that was only on online, you know, like only on the Twitter. But let's check it out. Let's check it out. But yeah, because Dedra being in Luthen's gallery, like, what does that even mean? What does that do? When does that happen? Changes a lot. That means she's figured out who Axis is. Dedra being in the gallery. That means she figured out who Axis was. Where is it? There's so many trailers. It could be any of these, chat. Dedra versus Leia. It could be. Could it be this one? Could it be? I don't think so. No, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. Why does Star Wars post so many videos? Think honestly. I don't even know. Let's see if I look up Dedra in Luthen's gallery. If it comes up, that would be insane. It'd help if I spelled gallery correctly, but yeah. Oh, it came up, Chad. I'm a freaking genius. Okay. So here's the frame that we're talking about here. This is the frame in question. This was from a trailer a few weeks ago where clearly Dedra is in Luthen's gallery. This must have been one that was released on YouTube because this is a full screen one. Huh. I don't know which one it was. But what is this, chat? This, I mean, does she figure it out? How does she figure it out? How does she know where to go? Is it really the case that Cassian messed up and wasn't supposed to go there? That would be wild. Maybe Dedra's investigating Uncle Harlow and ends up at Luthen's gallery. No. I don't think so. Luthen is Uncle Harlow? No. What if Dedra figures it out because Leia's blood? Oh, because she was bleeding when she was escaping Davos's? I don't think so. I don't think so, but I feel like we're kind of getting on the right track here. She has to figure it out somehow. Lonnie, maybe? Lonnie's the I'm the spy. That'd be crazy. Will Maul's crime syndicate show up? No. No, definitely not. At this point, Maul is actually dead, so no. No. Rebel Sith says, Mike, do you remember what the leak said about the Maul animated show before it was announced at Star Wars Celebration? No. I don't recall why. Are we sure that's his gallery? Yeah, pretty sure. This is definitely the gallery, yeah. We've seen all this stuff in the background. It's on the if you're going into the gallery through the front door, it's on your right side. I know his gallery like the back side of my hand. It's the right side, right there, sort of in the middle of the room, you know, like right about 10 paces to the right. You know, yeah. It's definitely the gallery. Dedra finds out, then goes to Krennic, and he doesn't believe her and has her killed. That would be kind of crazy. It is weird that she's here almost seemingly by herself. Well, she has been taken off the access case. Like, that's a big deal. Like, she's not supposed to be involved. So how would she figure it out? Maybe it's possible that she sees Cassian at the Gorman massacre and somehow plants a tracker on him or plants a tracker on his ship or something and tracks him back to here. That would be kind of crazy. I don't know. I really don't know. This is quite a well-kept secret. Davos finds out Luthen turned Takoma and turns him in. But how would he find that out? The ISB troopers would not be far behind. True, and the question is, who is she holding the blaster to, too? Because it could be either Cassian or Clea or Luthen himself. Probably going to be Clea if I were to guess. What if, and hear me out, chat, what if her panic attack that we've been talking about for forever is actually, like some people have been suggesting, her losing trust in the Empire, let's say. And she finds out somehow, some way, we don't know who. Don't know how, sorry, not who. We don't know how. She gets to this gallery and she points a blaster at this person, but she's there by herself because she's there with information. She knows about the Death Star. And this is how Clea, in the trailer, says they're building a weapon. What if Leia knows, this Clea knows about the Death Star because Dedra is the one who told her? That would be insane. Now let me provide you with a completely different alternative here. What if this is Luthen's death? What if Luthen's death actually comes to Dedra? All of Dedra's hard work over the years on Axis works, and she kills him. That would be insane. Knows it like the back of his hand, looks at his hand. Yeah. Chat, why is knows it like the back of your hand even a saying? Do you know what the back of your hand looks like? Because I never look at the back of my hand. Stupid saying. I think the same thing, Mike. Clea was told by Dedra because she jumps ship. That would be insane. That would be insane. Clea escapes and blows up the shop, killing Dedra. That would be ironic. It explains Clea crying. Maybe. She doesn't look like she's rebelling here. Looks like she's pretty angry and maybe even going to blast whoever she's pointing the gun at. It would be wild if Luthen died to Dedra. It would be pretty damn wild. Yeah. Can I get some good cuffs follow orders in the chat, please? Bum, ba. I don't know what it is, but drinking out of a Revenge of the Sith cup is just so much better than the other one. Maybe Mon's daughter sees Mon Mothma and Luthen talking and informs the Empire. Her daughter rats her out? Or what about even her husband? That'd be crazy. Well, the daughter wasn't in last week's episode. So, maybe. It'd be like poetry to do it. Dedra got to Axis too late to stop the rebellion. The rebellion needs to stop Stardust before it's too late. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. This scene right here just it's baffling me right now. I don't know what to expect, what to do, Why is she in the gallery? Is she gonna kill Luthen? How did she get the intel to even know where the gallery was? And when does this happen? Is this going to be in tomorrow's episodes, or will it be in the final arc? This is probably the most confusing frame that we've gotten from any of the trailers. I have no idea. Your guess is as good as mine at this point. That's why it's called a prediction stream, not a Mike knows everything stream, because Mike doesn't know shit. Wasn't there a knife in one of the trailers? Yes, actually. Now that you mention it, I remember exactly what you're talking about, and I know exactly what trailer it's in, too. So last time, we got some copyright issues for watching this trailer, so we're only going to scroll through it. For some reason, they don't like the Revolution Starts Now song, so we're just going to scroll past it and get to the end here. I think it's at the very end.
Remember this moment. You're here. You're right here, and you're ready to fight.
Maybe not. Chat, where's this dagger at? Thought it was in this trailer. Actually, I'm like 99% sure it's in this trailer. So when is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I know you're in here. Am I watching the wrong trailer right now, chat? I'm watching the wrong trailer. Is it not this one? Oh. Because this isn't Bix, right? So I guess it is Cassian in that scene, right? That's Cassian right there. That's not Bix, right? That's Clea. What's going on here, chat? This looks like maybe after the fact, Bix is dead. Luthen might be dead too. Like everybody's dead and it's just them two. They're the only ones left. And they got to deal with the shit. I don't know. That's their hideout on Coruscant. Is it the same building? Hang on, let's see. It could be. Do you think they're... So it could be that this is Clea coming to Cassian. And maybe Bix just isn't home. The optimistic person in me says, maybe Bix just isn't home. You know, maybe she's still alive. She's fine. She's okay. Or maybe Bix is dead. Luthen is dead. Dedra has found the gallery. Everything has gone to shit. And it's all over. And now they're in a hideout. Trying to get off world. Possibly. But where is this dagger, chat? Could have sworn it was in this trailer. Do we know what trailer it's in, chat? I'm going to have to turn the volume off here just because for some reason this trailer is getting me caught on the copyright stuff. Actually. Huh. Melshi, you could get some Melshi. Oh, that was the weird scene too. This girl. On Coruscant, pointing a blaster at people. Very strange. Where is this dagger at, chat? You're right here. And you're ready to fight. Maybe at the very beginning of this trailer? I don't think so. I don't think so. I guess it wasn't in this trailer. Huh. Then where was it? Star Wars Santa, what's up? How we doing? Where is it? Where is he? All right. Let's look up, because it worked last time. Let's look up Andor Season 2 Dagger. See what comes up. It is not coming up, chat. Maybe knife? Let's try knife. Knife. Come on. You can do it. No. You want to know what came up, chat? It was this. Don't know why. Hello Kitty. Just a Hello Kitty knife. Oh, found it. Found it. Finally. So this is one. That looks like it's Luthen's staff is what a lot of people were talking about. And there's a knife in it, which is pretty crazy. So maybe, and that doesn't look like Luthen. It looks like Cassian. So maybe it's Cassian is gifted the knife after Luthen dies. Maybe. I don't know. And then this one. Now that looks like an Imperial officer or maybe an Imperial of some sort on the side holding it. Partagaz, maybe. Actually, Dedra. Looks like lady hands. Fast forward to when it's a male. But what if Dedra's actually just there to get some artifact? Wouldn't that be crazy? What if she just coincidentally goes to Luthen's gallery? Wouldn't that be interesting? But yeah, this is clearly an important scene here. This does look like it could be in the gallery, based off the fact that looks like an ancient knife. Huh. So it's possible that this scene and this scene, because she's wearing the same outfit there. Yeah, this is the same outfit. You look at the white and then the sort of the black buckle right there. You got the white and the black buckle right there. So this looks like this is going to be her in the gallery. Is it possible that she just coincidentally goes there? That'd be insane. Is it the dagger from the last Rise of Skywalker? No. No, it is not. It is a different one. But what are the chances she just happens to go there and figure it out? And how would she even figure it out? Like, why did she pull out the blaster? Maybe they pull a blaster on her. I don't know. This seems a little weird. Either way. This one could be alluding to Luthen's death and his staff being gifted to Cassian. And then this, I don't know. I don't know, chat. Looks like Dedra's holding it, but I don't know why she would be. That's not a knife. Looks like some sort of knife. Cassian just walks in when he's not supposed to. That'd be crazy. What if this was all just a coincidence? She's just there shopping, and Cassian walks in the front door, and then she pulls out her blaster because it's Cassian, and then everything just completely unravels. I wouldn't like that at all. Maybe it's a Gorman stabby stick. Maybe. Maybe she's buying a present for Cyril. Ironic. That would be hilarious. What if this is how they open up episode 7, though? She's supposed to be on Gorman. Like, the Gorman massacre is happening this week. That's where she's going to be. Why is she not there? Luthen and Andor are seen on Gorman, and that's the link? But that would infer that Luthen's on Gorman, and we don't know that he is. She's buying something nice for Cyril's mom. Okay. What if Cyril is with her and hears Luthen's voice? Yeah, you're right, because he has heard Luthen's voice. That would be crazy. That would be crazy. Have you ever heard the joke of the Imperial officer who walked into a bar? No. Tell me. Tell me. Chat, we can't keep this conversation going until I hear this joke, so just, just stand by. Stand by.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Well, I'm waiting. This is the longest punchline ever. This is the longest punchline of all time, chat. CJ, what's up? How we doing?
Hello there.
Who would win in a fight? 100 men with Cal or Cal with no lightsaber? Cal Kestis? Cal Kestis? 100 men. What do you mean? All right, here's the punchline. Have you ever heard the joke of the Imperial officer who walks into a bar? It doesn't end well.
Execute Order 66.
Might have been the worst joke I've ever heard in my life. I don't even get it. I don't even get it. Yeah. How do you weigh a lizard on its scales? This is the worst, chat. This is no. Okay. I think we've lost our minds. Get the airlock ready. Get the airlock ready. Yeah. Just prepare the airlock for sure. Okay. I do want to talk about this, and it's not really predictions or anything, so keep throwing your predictions in the chat for the next 3 episodes. But let's talk about this. This is the news headline. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. This stupid website, I don't even know what it's called. What's this website? TheWrap.com. Hey, if you're watching from TheWrap.com, what are we doing? You write an article, and then you make it pay-per-view? But what is this nonsense? So they write an article called Andor has pulled in over $300 million in subscriber revenue for Disney+. And instead of telling us how, they make us pay. And they still run ads, which is crazy. Okay, so yeah. But having said that, there is some insight here. So let me pull it up. But the idea is that somehow, some way, they have calculated that Andor has brought in more than $300 million in subscription revenue. And supposedly, that is more than the Ahsoka in the Book of Boba Fett. Now, I have a problem with this. How does this work? How is this calculated? I get that they can probably see how many subscribers they gain in a month, but do they know? How do they know that those subscribers are gained because of Andor Season 2? Or Andor in general, Andor Season 1 and Season 2. I mean, if it's possible to have figured that out, that's fantastic. But I really don't know how. So Andor's viewership numbers are so low. Like, so low. And even the second season's premiere numbers are just as low as Season 1. Not that that means that Andor is wrong, because it is definitely not. I mean, is bad, because it's definitely not. Andor is a freaking masterpiece. But it doesn't mean that everybody's watching it. So I really don't know. You have to pay to see this, so I'm not going to. Just out of spite, you know? Yeah. First watch Andor after subscription? Maybe. You're telling me that like 100 million people will do that? I don't think so. I don't know. But that was pretty cool, I guess. And this was the big thing we were talking about at the beginning of the stream, so let's read this again. The next block of Andor episodes 7, 8, and 9, tomorrow, is our second favorite of the entire series, only beaten ever so slightly by the Narkina 5 arc, the One Way Out arc, the Prison Escape arc from Season 1. They're the most visceral and edge-of-your-seat intense experiences we've ever had as Star Wars fans. pretty damn high praise. These next 3 episodes are going to be absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. So the monster will come for us all. The Gorman massacre is going down. Will Dedra be in Luthen's gallery? And do you have any crazy final predictions for these 3 episodes? Because don't be like, oh, I was going to say them, Mike. But this is your time. This is your time to throw in your craziest predictions into the chat on what you think's going down in this week's episode. Are we going to see Palpatine? Will Bix die? Will Luthen die? What's going down with the Gorman massacre? How much Bail Organa will we get? Will Bail Organa lead to Leia Organa? What's going down in episode 7, 8, and 9, chat? You tell me. You tell me. And while you do, let's actually end this poll about Palpatine joining, you haters. 60% of you say no. Palpatine will not be in Andor Season 2. If he's not in this week, he's not going to be in there at all. But there's a possibility. I mean, it's very unlikely, but there is a likelihood. It's not 0. But yes, it's not 0. Are we going to get Kino Loy? Great question. So Kino Loy is a very interesting one because Andy Serkis, who plays Kino Loy, has said that he is in Season 2. I don't know why, because actors always lie, but he said he was. So that was like a year ago or something like that in this interview. And it's not looking like Kino Loy's going to be in the 2nd season. I mean, he couldn't swim, and it just doesn't seem highly likely. So, I don't know. The spiders wreck the new building? Oh, it's like a Quantum Mania type ending? Yeah, no thank you. Babu Frick causes the Gorman massacre. Okay, when I say crazy predictions, I mean crazy like Palpatine could show up, not like something that completely doesn't work. Palpatine orders the arrest and broadcasts it all over Coruscant? Possibly. That'd be kind of cool. That'd be kind of cool. He said he gets to choose, or we get to choose whether or not he's alive or not. But he literally said he was filming something. No? Or Andor Season 2? On Yavin 4 for a cameo then? Maybe. Well, there's going to be a lot of cameos on Yavin 4. A lot of familiar Rebel faces in this 2nd season. What do we think the chances are seeing Admiral Raddus tomorrow? Like in episode 7, 8, 9? Because he's going to be in Season 2. But what about in tomorrow's episodes? We see Leia. I'd like to see Leia. A Jar Jar cameo? Okay. Okay. The Ewoks arrive on Gorman and kick them all off. Kino Loy returns as Snoke. I think we'll see Biggs. Okay, that's an actual theory. I like it. That's a possibility. More Babu Frick. Gotta love Babu Frick. You gotta love it. Admiral Radish? I don't think so. I want more Akbar. Oh, I don't think Akbar's going to be in it. I'd be surprised if he was, but I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay. Let's see if there was anything else posted while we went live here. Did we miss anything, chat? Let's see. We looked at that. We looked at. Oh, did you guys catch this? So the crunchies that Cad Bane and his best friend were eating in Tales of the Underworld are the same as the cereal that Cyril eats in Andor. Cad Bane is Cyril confirmed. That's yeah, so that's pretty cool. But Carry On brings up a great point. Maybe we get at least a mention of the Ghost crew, possibly a voice, or at least could even see them, which would be crazy. I think Cyril dies tomorrow, but Dedra will make it out alive. But bombshell drop will be that she will be assigned to work on the Death Star in honor for her commitment. That would be just horrible, but it's a great theory. I think Cyril could die this week for sure. At the Gorman massacre, why not? Why not? For sure. Okay. Let's see what else do we miss. Let's see what else. think that's all, chat. Oh. Ah. Okay. All right. Well, we do have to get on out of here. I do have to get on out of here. Go finish up a short. Watch out for a short at 5 p.m. tonight. This one's about George Lucas, so you don't want to miss this. But go check out that short. And of course, tomorrow, watch party at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Watch out for that watch party at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so we can finally see the Gorman massacre. Will Bail Organa? Well, what will Bail Organa be doing? Will Leia be in there? Will Cyril die? Will Bix die? Will Luthen die? What's going down in these next 3 episodes? I appreciate you all so much more than you will ever know. I hope you've had a great May the 4th. I hope you have a great Revenge of the 5th. And I hope you have a great rest of your evening. And something else I was going to tell you guys. I can't think of it. Go join the Discord. Oh, yeah. Go join the Discord if you're not in there already. Keep the conversation going. We could talk some Tales of the Empire. Tales of the Underworld. That's what I meant to say there. And yeah. Go check out those breakdown videos for Tales of the Empire. Tales of the Underworld. Oh my God, Chad, I'm losing it. I need to sleep at some point. And yes, go check that out. And if you have not already, go check out the great podcast I did last night with Star Wars Jedi Podcast. Ron, Nick, Derek, and all those people that were there last night for a great Star Wars celebration. So go check that out if you have not already. And hit that like button. If I swear, chat, how many likes do we have? 85? 85 likes, chat. Are you serious? Are we serious right now? We had like over 100 people here the entire time, and you didn't smash a freaking like on the stream. God. Smash a freaking like on the stream if you have not already. Hit that subscribe and hit that bell. And may the force be with you. Always. Oh, yeah. What a great stream. What a great show. You guys are the absolute best. I appreciate you all so much more than you will ever know. Steve says, it's amazing to have a podcast that isn't all about negative vibes. Ain't that the truth? But I appreciate that. But that's all on you guys. I mean, you guys can come in here and be like, hey, guess what? Star Wars sucks. Andor Season 2 sucks. And I'd be like, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I'm so sorry. But no, we got the people who love Star Wars are just the greatest community in all the world. Okay, and don't forget it. Don't you forget it. But I appreciate you all so much more than you will ever know. I hope you have a great rest of your evening, great rest of your lives, and good night, everybody.